Welcome to the Ask Bucky Unfiltered webcast. This is a webcast that seeks to go a little bit further in depth on some of the great resources and experiences that UW offers. My name is Allie Weber, and I work for the Department of Campus and Visitor Relations as one of their special projects interns, and I will be the host of the webcast today. And on today's episode, we will be talking about everything that is the Dean of Students office with the one and only Dean of Students herself, Dean Christina Olstad, as well as two other Dean of Students office employees. So first, I would just like to thank everyone for taking the time out of their busy schedules to record this podcast with me today. I'm very excited to have this office at this time on this podcast, in particular, just because of the unique nature of this fall semester. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of great resources that the Dean of Students office will be providing, both new as well as old. And I think it's important that the students get this information, as early as possible. So we'll go to that a little bit later in the webcast. But before we jump into those conversations, why don't we all just do a quick round of introductions, just so the audience knows who we're speaking with today.
Great. Thank you so much, Allie. So my name is Christina Olstad. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I have the honor of serving as the Dean of Students here at UW-Madison. And what that means is I oversee the Student Advocacy Portfolio and Student Affairs, which encompasses the Dean of Students Office, the Office of Student Conduct and Community Standards, Parent and Family Programs, Associated Students in Madison, which is the student government representing the 45,000 undergraduate and graduate students here, and the Center for the First Year Experience. And it's a pleasure to join you on the webcast today. Thanks for having us.
Hi, my name is Jenna Friedman. I am the Assistant Director for Bias Response at the Dean of Students Office. So I oversee the Bias Response program in the office, but also help with general assistance with the Dean of Students Office. Thank you for having me.
Hi, I'm Rachel Willits. I use she, her, her pronouns. I'm an assistant director in the Dean of Students Office. One of my main roles is overseeing our drop-in service, which is one of the ways our students really utilize our office. Great to be here.
Great. Like I said, thanks for joining us today. And before we just kick off this conversation, it might be helpful for our audience members who don't know what the Dean of Students Office is to just tell me a little bit about what your office does and what kind of resources it provides for our students.
So the Dean of Students Office is an assistance office. And so our goal is to assist students on a wide variety of topics. We know that this is a large campus, and we know that one thing we hear from students is that they get bounced around a lot. And so what we tell students is, if you have a question, you don't know where to start in the Dean of Students Office, because the Dean of Students Office is connected with every office on campus. We literally partner with all offices, faculty, staff, parents, and community. And so you can start with us, and we will either be able to assist you or make sure you get to the right place. Some of the main reasons we have students come in and utilize our office is perhaps they need to talk to their faculty, but they're just not sure how to do that. So we do a lot of brainstorming with students. Maybe they get ill and they're going to miss some class and they're concerned about that. We work with students who are struggling financially and maybe don't know all the assistance opportunities that the university has. Our office has a grant process. We also have a loan process, and we know that, things outside of the classroom really stress students out, and that is where our office hopefully can help you navigate that as a student and bring a little, hopefully, relieve some stress for you. A few other things that we also help students with, and Jenna, of course, could speak more to this, is that we oversee the bias process. So making sure that our students who have experienced bias feel validated and supported, and work with Jenna in that way to repair any harm that was caused. We also, when maybe something's going on with your family, or, we work a lot with students who have a death in a family or a friend, and making sure that they're connected. So again, I always tell students we're kind of in your corner, and, we just want to be, and we work with all students. So I want to be clear, we work with undergrad students and we work with graduate students. So we really just, our goal is the student success, whatever that is for the student. So that's just a few things. I don't know if my colleagues want to add anything else.
Sure, I'll add just one thing. really our goal is to reduce barriers, to increase persistence, and to promote student success. So like Rachel said, we're in your corner. We are an advocate to help you get connected to the resources and supports you need to thrive here at UW-Madison and your time as Badger with us. And we are thrilled to meet you. You know, the trends over the last few years, we have engaged with more and more students, and more students are coming to the Dean of Students office. When they just don't know where to start, we are the place to start, and we can get you connected to resources and support.
Now, given the current climate of this fall semester is a little bit different than in the past, I'm sure there'll be a lot of new questions that students might have coming up this fall. What should they expect from the Dean of Students office? What are maybe some similarities and maybe what are some differences from other semesters?
Yeah, so I can help answer that. So usually when we are having full in-person classes, our offices are open from 8 to 4:30, and someone is always available to help with the drop-in and to meet with students who come in. We've tried to make that transition from in-person classes to virtual as smooth as possible, and we have been providing all of the same services, some virtual, and now we are going to be in the office from 10 to 4 in our office, which is located in Bascom 70, Monday through Friday. So someone will be there. If someone needs to go to Bascom and speak to someone right away, they can check with someone at the front desk, and they'll be provided a private room so they can either speak with somebody by phone or via Zoom, so they can speak to a staff member right away. Our phone is also, someone will be answering the phone Monday through Friday from 8 to 4:30, and that phone number, anybody can reach us at 608-263-5700. And so again, between 8 and 4:30, someone will be able to answer the phone if someone has a question or wants to talk about any other services that we might be able to provide. And again, like Rachel mentioned, we have drop-in hours. So those are from Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 4. So students can actually fill out a drop-in form on our website, and someone will try and contact them as soon as possible. Usually that's within an hour or so from someone filling out a drop-in form. And then they can set up a time to meet with the person on duty and drop in, and they'll be available to meet by phone or via Zoom currently, given the current situation. And I do encourage people to just go to our website because that has the most up-to-date information about how to connect with our staff and talks about all of the resources that we're currently providing.
And to all of our audience members, we will be posting all the contact info for the Dean of Students office in the caption below if you would like to check it out right after this webcast. And I know earlier in the webcast we talked about, you know, all the various resources that the Dean of Students offers, and it's very interconnected within the student's life. Could you maybe give some examples of like specific reasons that a student might contact the Dean of Students office?
Sure, happy to. You know, we have a crisis loan program, crisis grants. So if a student is experiencing a financial crisis, if a student loses a loved one and would like to access the bereavement procedure on our campus, to access the Dean of Students office, we did work with the Division of Continuing Studies to move the administrative home of the Badger Fair program to promote and get students connected who are experiencing food insecurity on our campus to the Dean of Students office. That's a recent move. And we've also increased the budget for the Badger Fair program this year. If a student is having an academic concern or issue, doesn't know where to start, you can start with the Dean of Students office. We have strong partnerships throughout the Dean's offices within the schools and colleges, and to help you navigate that process. If a student needs to take a withdrawal due to a variety of reasons, we can help get them connected to the appropriate parties as well within the schools and colleges. Really, if a student is concerned about their own mental health or well-being, or the mental health and well-being of a fellow Badger, there's a student of concern form that students can fill out, or they can even reach out to our office. We've had students call us, utilize drop-in services to express concern about a friend. Maybe they've noticed a change in behavior and want to make sure they're getting connected to the appropriate supports. We know that the semester is going to be challenging, and we want to be there when our Badgers need us to help get them connected to promote student success. So those are a few of the reasons why students would engage with our office. Also, you know, I hold open office hours. So right now they're virtual, but I am actually coming to you from Bascom Hall. You don't know that because I'm using a background, but so I'm in the office right now. And I meet with students virtually this summer, and in the fall semester, students can also pop by. I love connecting with our Badgers for Badgers to share what their experience is, what they'd like to see on campus, some of the challenges they're facing, so that we can elevate the student voice and experience to make change on our campus. Yeah, so check out my office hours. They're right on my website, and I'd love to meet with you either in person or virtually.
And I know you guys are called the Dean of Students office. However, on your website, you also say that you offer some resources for parents and faculty as well. Would you mind elaborating a little bit more on those?
Sure. So in the student advocacy portfolio, we work very closely with parent and family programs. That's also one of the units in our portfolio. And we work very closely to support parents in their transition to launching a student onto campus, supporting students when they're concerned about their students, reaching out to our office or to parent and family programs to express concerns. With faculty, you know, we know that faculty will notice changes in behavior because they have an opportunity to interact with our students more frequently than we may do up in Bascom Hall or virtually. And so, you know, we really promote for faculty to notice changes in behavior or concerns, to consult with our office and to provide referrals to appropriate campus resources. So we also do some training with faculty around supporting students in distress, and also addressing classroom disruptions or de-escalating situations in the classroom, whether it's a virtual classroom or in person. And we partner often with the Office of Student Conduct and Community Standards for those sessions.
And I know we probably touched on this a little bit earlier in the webcast, but could you give me some, I guess, specific examples of some of the more popular resources that your office offers, and then also some of the resources that you think are underutilized but shouldn't be?
Sure. I would say some of the resources that are really popular, I think that once students know in particular about our crisis loan and grant program, in particular graduate students, we will see graduate students every year because their funding doesn't come in until October. I think for students, you know, usually they're referred by someone else. And so I think once they've used our office, some of the popular things is just talking with someone who the only interest we have is them navigating the campus and being successful. And so I think I was trying to think what's unpopular, and I think what we hear time and time again from students is, I wish I would have known about this office earlier. It is not a secret. We definitely want people to know about our office. When I'm talking with students, sometimes students will get a little confused because when they hear the Dean of Students office, they may think that that's a place where you quote unquote go if you get into trouble. We do not do conduct. We are not an investigative office. We are an assistance office. And so for me, the unpopular thing is just wanting people to know that, you know, we are here to assist you. I think once students use our office, they use it over and over again. It's just that initial figuring out where this office is, how it could be supportive. We've totally revamped our website. In the past few years, our marketing has dramatically increased. But I think the brainstorming aspect, because in particular with faculty, sometimes students just don't know how to start that conversation, and then it becomes kind of a snowball effect. I haven't been in class for a week or two. but now I feel some shame and some guilt about not going to class. So I'm just going to continue to not go to class. And it just, snowballs the problem. Whereas if they can meet with us and we kind of brainstorm like, okay, let's talk about like how you're comfortable interacting with your faculty, how that communication might look. Let's talk about what's the message and sort of collaborating with them. And then that can stop a smaller issue from becoming a larger issue. And so I think that's what I would want students in particular to just utilize our office and not feel any like, oh, I have to go to this office, because I think that we are a no judgment zone. I work with some students who are like, yeah, I know I talked to you on the phone, but then I didn't do anything for a month, and then I felt bad about contacting you. And I think we understand in our office, we are trauma informed. Our whole staff has been through a trauma informed training. And we understand that, when students are facing lots of the things that are happening right now in our world, that it's causing stress, and it's completely natural to need help and need assistance. And I know Chancellor Blank talks every year at Convocation about it is sort of a Midwest way of not needing help. And we're really trying to break that down. And so I would say that, for us, just people coming as soon as they feel like they don't know where to go, or they start to feel like they're struggling, because we love to be able to help a student and be like, wow, that was great, and I'm glad I didn't wait. And so that's just some other information that I would share.
It's funny you actually bring that up, because the first encounter that I had with the Dean of Students office was a couple of weeks into my freshman year. I came from a really small school up in like northern Wisconsin, and I just always had access to my teachers. I never had to send them emails or anything. And I did not know how to send my professor an email. I did not know how to word it. I did not know what to do in office hours, and I really wanted to go to him. So my roommate actually encouraged me to go to the Dean of Students office because she had used it before, and it helped immensely, and I have gone back since, so I can definitely attest to that 100%. Yeah, so are there any other topics that y'all would like to discuss before we start wrapping up this conversation?
I think one of the things I just want to stress is we're here for you. We are excited to meet you. We're excited to support you as you navigate your experience as a Badger. And we look forward to engaging with you virtually or in person throughout this next year. And we hope that, word of mouth, like I love that your roommate, Allie, referred you to the Dean of Students office, because that is the best advertising we could possibly get, is when students have a positive experience at the Dean of Students office and then say, hey, I didn't know where to go, and I went there first. They helped me. I think they can help you. That's the best advertising. Like, we could spend a lot on marketing budgets, but when students actually tell their stories of success and connections that they made, that is so powerful. So thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm glad you had that positive experience with our office.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, with that being said, we're actually almost out of time. So again, I would like to thank Dean Olstad as well as Rachel and Jenna for joining me today. Like I said before, if you would like to check out any of the resources that we discussed in this webcast today, they'll all be linked. The website as well as a phone number for the Dean of Students office will be linked in the captions below. Ask Bucky Unfiltered will be posted on Sundays at 10 o'clock. You can see them through our campus and visitor relations social media, as well as our YouTube channel, and now our website. We just got it on the website, so we're super excited about that. But yeah, again, thank you all for listening. I can't wait to see you next time, and have a great day.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.